Jewish neighborhood, right? And not everyone who has the interest to become Jewish is going to make it to the finish line, because it's going to mean uprooting. See, here's the difference between becoming Jewish and becoming Christian, right? If I want to become a Christian, I can do it anywhere on the planet. I just say, "Oh, I accept Jesus into my heart," ooh, right? And it's like, "Hello, I'm a Christian," right? I wake up,
right.
I'm a Christian. Doesn't matter. I don't have to go through any process. Or maybe they have to dip me in a, they have to give me some baptism thing or something, right?
Yeah.
Whatever they call that, baptize you.
Baptize.
I may have to go through some, but basically, I'm a Christian. Once I say I accept them into my heart, right? You can accept the entire Torah in your heart, and you will never be a Jew, because it's a what? What's so funny?
It's just the idea of accepting the Torah in your heart.
No, it's like you can wake up and go, "Oh, I believe, I want to keep," and you can even start keeping Shabbos.
Right.
And not turning on and off lights on Shabbos, and you can keep kosher 100%. You can, all these things you can do, and it's wonderful. But you're still not a Jew unless you go through the process, and that means you have to work with a rabbi, and you have to move into his neighborhood, and you may not be able to afford it. You may not have, you may have kids, and they have schools, and there's other considerations, and you can't do it. And I hate to always be the one to be the bad news bearer.
Right.
But you can't do it, and it's not going to happen. I feel terrible for you. But this is the system. This is what it is. It is what it is. We live in the age of the internet and the TV, and everybody, on the planet is finding out about Judaism, and they want to be part of it. But unfortunately, if you live way out on the planet somewhere, you're never going to be it. You have to come to the Jewish camp. And the Jewish camp's usually far from you, and it's probably more expensive than you can handle. And I hate that fact. I'm in your corner on that, I'm the Goyim's best friend. I'm in your corner, I understand it, I hear your pain, and I'm sorry to say I've got nothing for you. So what I'm trying to do right now is just let you know the reality of it, because Rabs doesn't sugarcoat anything, and I'm telling you the truth. It's not that I don't want you to become a Jew, it's that I want you to know what it is, and I'm going to tell it to you straight, whereas other people are going to fudge it and sugarcoat it and say, "Oh, it's not." I'm going to tell you the truth. You have to have money to become a Jew.
Yeah,
right?
and you have to have money to keep living a Jewish life.
Yeah, there's the cost.
It's very demanding. It's a high cost.
The price of being Jewish.
And guess what? The playing field isn't equal. Some people you'll find who've converted to Judaism had a relatively easy time.
Yeah.
Like some people are charming, some people are connected, some people are more affluent. And for them, the conversion process was pretty much, a glide down a slippery slope, and they went through it, and you don't see much. You don't see, oh, why didn't they have to go through what I have to go through? Guess what? Life is not fair. Conversion's not fair. For some people, converting to Orthodox Judaism will be relatively easy compared to what I may have had to go through, or what you may have to go through. We never know what someone else's process is going to be like. Some people it's going to be a lot easier than for others. Life isn't fair. Conversion process isn't fair. You may start a conversion program, the rabbis simply don't like you, and they kick you out. And that's just testing you. If you're really serious, you're going to move to another city and try to convert through a different Beit Din. It's like, if you are serious about converting to Judaism, you cannot be kept out. You get kicked out of all the Beit Dins in Los Angeles, and there are about 4 that I'm thinking of right now that can do Orthodox conversions.
In LA?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. The RCC is the most universally accepted.
Okay.
Then there's a small Beit Din in the Valley where the person who runs it, his pupil, Shlomo Omar, is now the Sephardic chief rabbi in Israel.
Oh.
So his conversions are quite well accepted in Israel.
Okay.
He only maybe does one a year, but you have Rabbi Gabriel Cohen in Beverly Hills, where, to the best of my knowledge, I believe a conversion will cost you $5,000. It will be difficult and demanding. He may only do 1 or 2 a year, but they're pretty much universally accepted. And then you have the Los Angeles Beit Din, which is a modern Orthodox Beit Din, which is not necessarily accepted everywhere. It's not necessarily accepted by the chief rabbinate, but will be accepted by virtually every modern Orthodox synagogue and congregation and modern Orthodox rabbi that you want to deal with. And if you then want to become Haredi, it's a much easier jump to go from having completed a Los Angeles Beit Din or a so-called modern Orthodox conversion to then become Haredi than it is to go from Goy to Haredi Jew. So there are a lot of different permutations. But anyway, my point is, even if you were kicked out of all 4 Bate Din in Los Angeles, you can move to New York, and you can have a go there. You can move to Chicago. You can move to Israel. Like, if you're serious, you can do it. But it's a difficult process, and I say God bless the difficult process, because unless you're up for it, you probably shouldn't become Jewish.
Listen to Luke, because he went through how long did the process take you?
About 2 years.
2 years.
But that's just my actual process. I've been trying since 1993. So I only finally got through last September. So I was kicked out of a process or two. I had my surahs pretty much all caused by my own mishigas, by my own behavior. But I've been trying since 1993. And actually I decided in December of 1989 that I wanted to convert to Judaism.
Wow.
So
21 years.
Yeah.
Well, it took 20 years.
I kept at it. And I despaired many times, but I didn't stop keeping Shabbat, because I still kept plugging away, and I didn't think anyone would ever give me a chance. And if I was doing this chat a year ago, I'd probably be a lot more bitter. And people have seen a real change in tone on my blog since I've finally gotten through. So I was probably a lot more empathic to those trying to get through. I come out the other side now, and now I'm looking back and I see the rabbis were right to make it difficult for me.
See, that's fine. It's like point counterpoint, right? It's like you have to accept Luke's feelings on all this, because he went through the 20 years, right?
Yeah.
My experiences with like this woman who was in it for 2 years and she failed, so I only know the other side. I know failure, right?
Yeah.
And I've experienced failure, and there's no recourse for it. You just failed, and you're never going to be a Jew, and that's why I say, there's a problem with the system, right? So me and Luke aren't going to see the same on this, because he's a winner. He's a champion, and the winners are like, fuck everybody, we won, and respect the rules, damn it, and I appreciate that, but it's like I've been with a loser, and what is it, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, right?
Well, one of my best friends failed, and she went through the most demanding conversion process. All conversion processes are not created equal. Some are more demanding than others. All are more demanding than if you wanted to convert to Roman Catholicism, but still they're not equal. So my friend was going through the most demanding process in Los Angeles, and she was almost at the end when she made an enemy of someone else who was going through the process. And so this enemy called up the Beit Din, the administrator of the Beit Din, and said, hey, this girl who's almost graduating your program, she's still dating her ex-boyfriend, who she told you he was an ex-boyfriend, but she still sees him and sleeps with him on occasion. And then the Beit Din said, we have been deceived, we're kicking you out. So I'm not sure, I'm not taking a position on whether they're right to kick out. But anyway, this crushed my friend's dreams. Like, she had changed her name, she had covered up a cross tattoo she had on her, she had covered it up, she had officially changed her name from something Goyish to something Jewish. She had been living in this neighborhood. She never wore pants, she never wore shorts. When she went jogging in a long skirt. That's not easy. She made a real strong commitment, but she made an enemy who dobbed her in, got kicked out, and she's, to the best of my knowledge, completely out of the Orthodox community anyway now. And she was totally crushed by. She'd been in the program for more than 2.5 years.
I hate these kind of stories. They just, I can, it's like these are the things that I have problems like with, even in corporate America. You can like work so hard, and then there's like some company politics, and you rub somebody the wrong way, and you're out. It's like, you hate to see that goes on in the Jewish world, and unfortunately it does.
It does in all worlds, in all demanding activities. Just like an athlete who's tried really hard, but he's 1/10 of a second behind the third place finisher in a 10,000 meter race, and he doesn't get to compete in the Olympics, for which he's dedicated his whole life. Just 1/10 of a second behind this other guy, and just because this guy wasn't feeling good that day. He should have won the race, but he had the bad luck to catch a cold, or he tripped on something. Life is tough, and Jewish conversion is really tough. And I'm okay with that. See, because